Hi there, welcome back. Thanks for rejoining me and welcome to February 2022. It's February 1st. It is the month of Valentine's Day. I am wearing red in honor of Valentine's Day with some roses keeping me company here as we discuss thoughts and feelings and heart resonance. That's the subject of today's episode, the heart and heart resonance. But before we get to heart resonance, let's do a little brief review of where we've been. We've discussed the duality of the theories of mind and matter and how we know that they are interconnected. We are now going to discuss thoughts and feelings and how they are interconnected. And not only they're interconnected, but they have an impact and influence on us at the subatomic level, on our disappearing and what I call magical electrons, as the electrons come and go with the mind of the observer. The observer is you and me in our own personal lives. And the goal is to become better and better at consciously observing our lives, our thoughts and feelings, because thoughts and feelings produce brain waves, energy waves that are actually measurable, and there are studies that actually prove that. So let's dig into today's study. We've talked about subatomic particles, right, the electrons, and how they exist in an infinite number of possibilities and probabilities simultaneously. Well, how can we then select the one that we want to experience? Last episode, we talked about, as a brief review, the 3 points: willful attention, sincere application of the new knowledge, and repeated daily efforts. We can use our mind as the observer to collapse subatomic particles and organize a vast number of subatomic waves of probability into a desired physical outcome called an experience in life. Very crucial to understand. And I'm going to read at the bottom of page 15 and the top of page 16. So if you don't have the book, I will be scrolling it on the screen because it's very, very important, and it's kind of heady, but it's very, very important. In fact, crucial to understand where we go next on this. The quantum universe is just waiting for a conscious observer, you or me, to come along and influence energy in the form of potential matter by using the mind and consciousness, which we talked about last time, we know is energy themselves. The mind and consciousness is energy themselves, to make waves of energetic probabilities coalesce into physical matter, or collapse into physical matter. Just as the wave of possibility of the electron manifests as a particle within a specific momentary event, we observers cause a particle or groups of particles to manifest physical experience in the form of events in our lives. Let's take a moment to think about that and to reread that and reconvene. Let's look at thoughts and feelings actually producing test tube results in a study by a cellular biologist, Dr. Glenn Ryan, R-E-I-N, PhD. This study took place at the HeartMath Research Center in California. The folks there have conducted extraordinary experiments on the physiology of emotions and the heart-brain interactions and much more. Essentially, they've documented a specific link, scientifically measurable, between our emotional states and our heart rhythms. When we have negative emotions like anger and fear, those low vibrational emotions on the Hertz scale, our heart rhythms become erratic and disorganized. And in contrast, positive emotions like love and joy produce highly ordered, coherent patterns that heart math researchers refer to as heart coherence. He first studied a group of 10 individuals who were very well practiced in techniques using heart-focused coherence. And they were asked to hold vials of deionized water with DNA strands in it. And when they were asked to hold the vials and produce within them a high vibrational feeling like love, but they were not asked to do anything else with any intention with the vials. That first group produced no results to the strands of the DNA. A second group of trained participants were asked to hold the same bottles of deionized water with suspended DNA samples in it, and not only just create positive feelings of love and joy, but simultaneously hold an intention or hold a thought with regard to those strands of DNA to either unwind or wind them up. And what this group produced was significantly statistical results, that there were changes in the shape of the DNA. And in some cases, the DNA was wound or unwound as much as 25% because they held with their elevated emotion of love or joy a specific intention to change the shape of the DNA. A third group of trained subjects also held a clear intent to change the DNA, but they were instructed not to enter into a positive state. So they just had the intention of changing their DNA and staying neutral with regard to infusing it with any kind of intention, high vibration attention, attentional focus, like love or joy. And that resulted in no DNA change. So the bottom line here is what was learned from that study is holding a high vibrational state of being or emotion like love or joy combined with the intention for your desired result actually produces the physical change. And that was revolutionary, that is revolutionary. And that's the secret of how you do this kind of work. You may be familiar with Dr. Emoto's experiments out of Japan, and if not, Google him and them. Dr. Emoto, E-M-O-T-O. He does experiments with water that they play different tones and music, and you can see the behavior of the water. You can also look for experiments, and I'll put the links below, where they have sand on top of speakers. And when beautiful classical music is played, the sand organizes into wonderfully coherent patterns, almost like snowflakes. But when other music, say like heavy metal music, is played, it doesn't have those beautiful patterns of coherence and symmetry. Very, very interesting, and I highly commend those studies to you to enhance your studies here. You find that frequency, the elevated emotion of love and joy, and you combine that with your intention of what your desired result is, and therein is how you collapse the waves of probability into the physical event or the physical matter with which you seek. The bottom line here is that an intentional thought needs an energizer or a catalyst, and that energy or that catalyst is the elevated emotion. Heart and mind working together, feelings and thoughts unified into a state of being. If a state of being can wind and unwind strands of DNA in a test tube within 2 minutes, what does this say about our ability to create reality? Stay tuned for the next episode. And with such gratitude and joy, thanks for tuning in.